So, hi everybody. I'm here today with Azasma, who is, well, I'm going to let her introduce herself. So, can I ask you what's your name?
My name is Azasma. I'm a second-year medical student here at the University of Saskatchewan.
Okay, so you're second year. Does that mean that you've already done an undergraduate degree?
Yeah, so the way it works is you have to do a 4-year bachelor degree first. So that's what I did, and I did mine in physiology and pharmacology. And then after the 4 years, after you finish that degree, you apply to medicine. So I've kind of been in university for 6 years now.
So, at what point did you know that you wanted to do medicine? Was it always the plan?
Yeah, like even before I went to university for my undergrad, I kind of had like the thought in the back of my head that I wanted to be a doctor. So even like going into university, I took like I did my phys pharm degree with the intention of doing like a professional degree afterwards, like medicine. It's just always been something that I've been interested in from the start, and yeah, I kind of it's always been something that I wanted to do, and I know that I wanted to do it, and I'm really happy to be here.
So, tell me about the program. Is it very hard to get into, first of all?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, it is pretty difficult to get into just because there's so many things you have to do. Like, first of all, the bachelor degree, you have to do a 4-year bachelor degree. That in itself is like quite a journey because you have to like study really hard and get consistently good grades because that's also really important when you're applying to medicine. And then on top of that degree, there's also a bunch of other things you have to do, like you have to write the MCAT, which is a really difficult exam. It's like 6 hours long, and you have to like studying for it is it's a nightmare. It's really difficult to study for and to take. And then in addition to that, there's a bunch of interviews you have to do as well. We have like this online interview called the Casper that we have to do. And then when I was applying, we had this interview called the MMI, or the multiple mini interview. And then just last year, they also added another interview called like the panel interview. So there's lots of extra things to do. You also have to have like your references, like people that can like sort of vouch for you, that get contacted. And then yeah, it's just like a lot of work that has to be put into, but it's definitely rewarding. And I think for me, it was definitely worthwhile. But yeah, it's definitely not an easy journey.
So, if you don't mind me asking, can I ask about finances? And do you have to pay your own way through medical school, or is there financing available?
Um, for me personally, like I know that if you are like in like you need financial help, they do offer like bursaries and stuff like that. For me personally, I wasn't in that position, so I did have to like pay for all of the tuition and stuff. But I know they have like bursaries available if you are in needing of financial help. It is a lot of money for sure. Even the process of like the bachelor degree, you got to pay tuition there. The MCAT, that costs money. The application process, that all costs money. So it's a lot of finances, and tuition is definitely not cheap either. I think for me, I think I pay around 17,000 a year for medical school tuition, which is definitely not a small number. But I think there are supports available for those that do need it.
Okay. So, let me ask you this question: What was your favourite thing about doing a medical degree?
I think the best part about like doing a medical degree is like the friends you make along the way. It's really different from undergrad, where like in undergrad we had like classes of like 500 or 100 students, and you wouldn't really see them every day because everyone would have different classes, everyone would have different programs. But in medical school, you see your classmates every day. You see them in small group sessions and large group sessions, and you kind of build really strong connections with them. And medical school is really tough, so the things like you kind of bond over the trauma, like, oh, this is so difficult, but everybody's in the same boat as you, so you're all struggling together, which makes the struggle much more worthwhile and much easier. So I think that's the best part. That was the best part for me in medical school, just like making these strong connections with my friends. And it helps a lot with studying too, like you study together and you help each other out. So I think that's really nice, and the sense of community that we build, I think that's probably my favorite part about medical school.
Great, that
Yeah.
sounds awesome. Quick one. So, if I want to give advice to somebody who's perhaps just out of high school,
Mm-hmm.
they have to do a 4-year bachelor degree. Then how long before they would become qualified as a doctor after that?
So if they just graduated high school, they would have to do, like you said, the 4-year bachelor degree, and then they would apply in their 4th year to medical school, and then if they got in, that would be another 4 years of medical school training, and then you would have your MD degree after after that. And then you have your residency, and so that varies. So if you want to do like a general practice, like a family medicine doctor, that would be at least 2 years, and that's like the lowest. So it's like lowest is like 2 years, and then it goes upward to like 5 or 6 years of residency, depending on like if you want to do like a surgical specialty, that would be like a 5-year residency typically. So a long journey.
Yeah, it's a long haul. Any last piece of advice for those students in that position?
I think doing medicine, it's a big commitment for sure. It's a lifelong commitment. It changes your whole life, and you're always going to be hustling. You're always going to be grinding. So I would say like if you feel that you're ready for that commitment, I would think about it. I would take a while to think about it and make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons, and make sure that you know that this is something you want to do, because there are like a lot of times where it gets really difficult, and it is worthwhile. It is very rewarding, but you have to make sure that you're up for the commitment. And also I would say that, like I said, it's a really long journey. Like, you have so many years of schooling. I would say take time to enjoy the journey, and don't just like wait for the end result, or don't just say like I'll relax, or I'll be happy after I get into medicine, or I'll be happy after I match into my specialty, or I'll be happy once I become a doctor. I think if you have that sort of mindset, you might never truly attain happiness, because you're always waiting for the next thing. So even though the journey is hard, I think it's important to take time and enjoy the small things that are part of the journey, and it's more about the journey than the end process, than the end results, and I think that's also really important to keep in mind.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much for giving us the time today.
Yeah, no problem.
And I wish you all the best with the rest of your studies.
Thank you.